Namo Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhiya soka paridevanang samatikkamaya dukkha manassanang attangamaya nyayassa adhigamaya nibbanassa sacchi kiriyaya yadidang cattaru satipatthana iti. Dear friends of the Dhamma, today we are going to discuss about establishing mindfulness according to Maha Satipattana Sutta. The Maha Satipattana Sutta, the great discourse of establishing the mindfulness, comes in Digha Nikaya, the long discourses of the Buddha. Maha Satipattana Sutta is one of the very important, significant discourses of the Buddha, where the different techniques of meditations that belong to the areas of the body, the feeling, the mind, and the phenomena are explained. Mindfulness is a very popular topic nowadays all around the world. We know that when people have lots of things to do in a day, when people must earn very well in order to survive, when people need to be busy, in the same time, automatically, the stress comes in. So the stress is a very popular, not a disorder, but a thing that the people suffer from. And many people need to get out of the stress. Therefore, the counselors, the psychological teachers, and also the practitioners have found meditation can be used in order to overcome stress. And they have tried to find out what meditation is the most suitable for that. So after the researchers, they have found that the Buddhist meditation technique about breathing is the best suitable thing for that. One reason is there is no mention about God or any belief or any religion in this meditation technique. We know that some meditation methods are bound with a God or with a God anyway. And sometimes it is said to visualize a God or someone in order to build up the concentration or to receive, to get the results of the certain meditation. But this breathing meditation is very neutral. There's nothing about any God belief, any ideology, any extreme, any belief. So anyone who belongs to any anyone who belongs to any religion or anyone who doesn't belong in any religion, who doesn't believe in any religion, can practice this breathing meditation. So therefore, their final finding was the breathing meditation is the best suitable technique for the stress reduction. Now, there is a huge usage of this meditation technique, which is scientifically taught and practiced by the teachers from what or for what they calculate a lot of money. So the technique MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, is very popular in Europe, in Western world. And you need to pay a lot of money in order to participate, in order to take part of this session, of this retreat. And they don't say that they have quoted, they have taken out this technique from Buddha's teaching. They never mention it. But it doesn't matter because Buddha had no copyrights. So Buddha did not want his teaching to be labeled as Buddhism or his own teaching. Therefore, I think Buddha would allow if someone takes his teachings out and uses it, earning money from that, I don't know whether it is correct or not. In our countries, in Theravada countries, we don't do it, but sometimes in other schools of Buddhism, they put a certain amount. You need to pay this course fee in this amount, and yes, they have a certain amount of money for that. Sometimes it is also for the billing of electricity, water, food, and the other things. However, what I wanted to say is this practicing mindfulness has now become a, a practice of common, not only of Buddhists, which is very good, because we know that what they practice is what Buddha has explained. It is enough that we know it. It is widely used all around the world, especially meditation and cognitive science has also a binding, or a connection. So the cognitive scientists have also done many research on this field, and they have put the devices on the meditating people, especially the meditating monks, and they have connected them to a certain machine with what they could recognize how the brain signals are going, the waves are functioning, and their findings were very interesting. They have found that the one who meditates has proper waves in a certain pattern, while the others are not, those who do not meditate. And when the mind becomes calm and quiet, peaceful, they could recognize it very well. His thoughts were very, so they were very pleasing. In a certain artistic way, were they, and which indicated these people could think properly. They could enjoy the thoughts in a certain way, which means those who are meditating are happier than those who do not meditate. Those who meditate could see the things better or could understand the things better than those who do not meditate. Those who were meditating could take the decisions in a correct way or in a more correct way than those who do not meditate. So these results have been also explained by Buddha in certain suttas, especially when we go to Mettanisansa Sutta. There he explains the 11 results of metta meditation, the loving kindness meditation, where he explains those who meditate can sleep well, sleep happily, sukhang supati, comfortably. So we know that sometimes how hard it is to sleep. We use certain different methods in order to have a good sleep. Sometimes we avoid coffee from 5 p.m. in order to get a comfortable sleep, but sometimes we can't. Even though we do not drink caffeine, we can't sleep well. And we try to put on different musics, music. Sometimes we play rain sounds when it is not raining, but when it is raining, actually it helps us sleep better. However, we try different methods, but we do not know why we can't sleep properly. Naturally, due to the aging, sometimes the difficulties of sleep comes in, but we even can reduce it. The nature of the difficulty of sleeping. We can even we can even reduce it in the old age by doing a short meditation before sleeping. Why a meditation can help someone to sleep well is when we meditate, we let different kinds of thoughts we let different kinds of thoughts go away. We try to keep focused on a certain object, meditative object, which is neutral, which is not emotional. So when the emotions are there in the mind, the emotions suppress the free nature of the mind, which allows us, or which gives the signal to the brain, you are free now, you are okay now for having a rest. All other times, the mind is active, the mind is busy with certain thing or certain problem that the mind thinks need to be solved. So when the mind is busy in any object, then the mind doesn't let you sleep, because if you sleep, you can't think of it. So we need to understand that the main problem or the main thing that disturbs the sleep is the mind is busy. The mind becomes busy. Therefore, when we meditate, the signal goes to the mind that the mind has no special duty or no special problem to solve. Now the problem is solved and the mind can be free now. The signal goes to the brain. That is why many people fall asleep. Many people feel sleepy when they meditate. You can understand the real reason for that. So I have experienced it personally. Sometimes even when we need sleep, we can't sleep because the mind is disturbed by something. When we meditate, we do not want to sleep. We need to meditate, but we become sleepy. Sometimes we actually sleep. It is not very bad that we sleep while meditating. It is disturbing the meditation, certainly, but it is not very bad because the body and the mind need rest. They need to have a rest. So when we meditate, the body and which means the brain and the mind. So here I take brain and the mind separately. So and they both get a signal. They both get the idea that we are okay to sleep. We do not say, please sleep now, but the signal goes like that. So therefore, if you do not want to sleep while meditating, you need a special effort to keep it without sleeping, without falling asleep, without feeling sleepy. You need to be alert you need to be attentive to the meditative object. Okay, so this is something about the practical side of mindfulness. So one good result is the meditation helps sleep well. So if we meditate 5 minutes before sleeping on the bed, you can sit on the bed or you can lie down on the bed. You can just meditate. So even metta meditation, the meditation of loving kindness, Buddha has said there in Karaniya Metta Sutta, in all 4 postures, it can be practiced. While walking, while sitting down, while lying down, and while standing. Tittang, Charang, Nisinnova, Sayanova. In all these 4 postures, you can practice metta meditation, which means even on the bed, you can do it until you become sleepy. Yava tassa vigata middho. Until you become sleepy, you are on the meditation. So you go to sleep with the meditation, which lets you have sweet dreams. Otherwise, sometimes you get up after watching a bad dream, nightmare. But if you do metta meditation, loving kindness meditation, Maitri Bhavana, you will never see nightmare. You will never see a bad dream. Good. As well as you sleep well, you can get up well. Sukhang pratibhujyati. You can get up well. Early in the morning, we know how difficult sometimes it is to get up from the bed. We are still sleepy. We have slept 7 hours, but still we are sleepy. We are not in the mood of getting up. This is because we have slept. Though we have slept, our sleep was not very deep. So there are stages of a sleep. So scientists have revealed these stages. They are totally connected with also with the status of the mind. So they have divided a sleep into 4 stages. Number 1 is you are halfly sleeping, halfly waking up, which means halfly awakened. You are not sleeping very well. So the 4th stage is you are in the deep sleep. Deep sleep means physically, this normal deep sleep, not the deep sleep in medical science. It is something else. So you are sleeping very deeply in the 4th stage. In the 1st stage, you are not sleeping very well, only 50%. And the 2nd and 3rd stages go deeper. The 4th stage of sleep is not bad, but I don't know whether you are keeping your mindfulness or your alert in this stage. Sometimes you have gone deeper. So in Abhidhamma, we can explain it to the state of bhavanga chitta. Bhavanga means you are definitely sleeping. Your mind does not get any object through your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the body, even from the mind. Okay, so all the 6 ayatanas are shut down. You have closed your eyes, and from your eyes you see nothing in this bhavanga status. Through your ears, even though you can hear, you do not hear anything, which means it is in sleep now. It is just like a what do you call, just like the scenery of a cobweb. So it is staying in the middle, and it does not go towards anywhere until the cobweb shakes from any direction. Okay, so this shaking means your organs are waking up. For example, you are in deep sleep, but it happens to hear a very strong sound, and then your mind tries to recognize from which organ or from which ayatana, from which inner organ it has come, the object, or it has touched. So it recognizes that it is through the ears, and then so this takes just a moment. So in the same moment that the sound comes, it recognizes what sort of sound it is. Especially, it needs to know whether it is a danger or not. The brain needs to know it. That is why it wakes the organ up, and it tries to recognize what kind of sound it is. Okay. So the people who have certain problems, like fear and so on, we call them, when it comes a bad situation, we call them phobia in psychology. So the people who have phobia, even when they sleep, the mind is always searching whether there is any danger. The things that are not real dangers are understood sometimes as dangers. Therefore, these people need to be counseled with what they can get the ability of keep the mind in the middle position, which is not tending towards phobia or towards fear, and which is also not tending towards non-alertness. Okay, these both things are not good, because if you have a certain fear, then it disturbs your mind. If you do not take care of anything, it is also a danger for yourself, because someone comes with an axe and he or she can hit you. You are not alert. Therefore, it is necessary to keep the mind in the correct position, where it has to be, where it should be. This is nothing than upekha in Buddhism. Upekha, equanimity. So you are not tending towards gain, or what you call praise, happiness, towards these things, bliss. And you are also not tending towards suffering, loss, blame. So you are trying to keep the mind in the middle position. So middle way, that is why this is a core teaching of Buddhism, the middle path. The middle path can be applied to anything in the life. You need to practice it. You need to try to be in the middle. For example, you do not have money and you are not happy. You have too much money, still you are not happy. So if you have a moderate amount of money, then you can use it. You do not need to put a special effort on protecting it. See how people bother with protecting their own belongings. See how it is very difficult. If your mm, uh, if your handbag is very expensive and very luxury item, then you always need to be alert on it. You can't keep it in anywhere. Even when you go to the toilet, you need to carry it with you. Even when you go somewhere else, you need to carry it with you because it is very expensive. But if you have something which is not a very luxury item, then the people also do not try to steal it. Yeah, of course, sometimes it will be stolen, but you do not need to put a big effort on protecting it. Maintaining things. So people run after money and they buy the expensive things, and then so why they buy the expensive things is they need to be happy. But after buying the expensive things, they can't be happy because they need to protect the things. Middle way is very practical, and when someone uses the middle way, the middle practice, then they can live very comfortably. They can live very comfortably. Yes, so we can apply it to any point in the life. However, I was explaining that how we can keep the mind in a middle position in order to get a good sleep. Not only to have a good sleep, but also to focus on something. For example, this lecture. So if you are alert and if you are not thinking of many different external objects, if you try to listen this carefully, which means you are mindful, you can get the best result of this speech. Otherwise, you can't. And here we also need to learn something that I think you have experienced this thing when you listen to a sermon or whatever, a lecture. Sometimes you find it interesting. Sometimes you find it which is not very interesting, and you become sleepy. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is you find something interesting, which means your mind can grasp it. You are finding something which is not interesting, means your mind thinks that either it is not important for you, or it is too difficult for you to follow, to catch. Okay, these are the two reasons that we become sleepy, that we become unattentive when we listen to something. Even when we learn a language or whatever thing, a new thing, if the mind gets the idea, gets the signal that it is not that important, then you can't learn it. Think of a word itself. You will never learn that word, that certain word in the life, if you feel that it is not important for you. So we need to give the signal to the brain that this is something important for me. I need to get it. I need to grasp it. I need to have it. Then you will find it interesting and you will learn something. I have personally got the experience that the listeners, when we preach something, when we teach something, if the topic and the explaining is easy to follow, easy to understand, and if we take the examples from practical life, the listeners are tending more to be interested on it and participate actively. But if we try to teach a certain technique which is not familiar with the listeners, and which is sometimes not commonly applied by many people, then the listeners become lazy. They tend to show that they are not interested on it. So we need to maintain here also the middle path, which means the topic does not become very technical and very light. Okay, if the topic is very light, very what you call very soft and very easy to understand and too much practical, then you do not learn anything from that thing. If the topic is too difficult and too technical, then also you do not learn something new, because the mind doesn't get the signal of the importance of it. So we need to maintain the middle way. When we explain something to someone, if we talk about the topic establishing mindfulness according to Satipatthana Sutta, if we try to explain it fully according to the sutta, the same thing happens. You will find that it is not interesting and it is too technical. But sometimes I take the hard decision and I go to the technical side, which means I try to explain all the points and sub-points of the topic. Because I personally find learning that is very important for the listener. Even the listener from his mindset does not get it as important. We know the importance of it. So we try to explain the whole thing in that situation. I don't know about today whether I can explain the all main points, or I will not be able to do so. Always time becomes a challenge. But let's at least try to get an outline of the sutta, because Satipattanasutta is very long, together with its all explanations and examples. There are so many nice examples in Satipattanasutta. I know that it is not possible to teach all the things that come in Satipattanasutta in this short time period. It is never possible. But I invite you to read it thoroughly. You can find some nice translations of Satipattanasutta. Here I remember that a great research has been done by Bhikkhu Analayo, who did his PhD research in Peradeniya University, and who became a lecturer of the University of Hamburg, where I also did my second master's. So his research on Maha Satipattana Sutta is very significant, and it is admired by many intellectuals. So if you need to, or if you like to have an intellectual approach to the sutta, and to get the details very well, you can refer to the book of Bhikkhu Analayo on establishing of mindfulness, Satipatthana. Otherwise, there are pure translations to the sutta, which means not the explanations, but the translations to the sutta itself by Bhikkhu Bodhi, Bhikkhu Thanisaro, and even I think by Bhikkhu Sujato has been translated. We translated Satipatthana Sutta. We means myself and our board of translation have translated Satipatthana Sutta into German. Those who can read German can refer to the Pali Canon.com. They are in German language. Canon is written with not with C but with K. Pali Canon.com, where you can read it, our translation. However, there are many nice translations to the sutta, so you can choose one of them. You can choose one of them. So I can, with no hesitation, recommend the translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi and by Bhikkhu Thanisaro. Thanisaro's translations can be found in Access to Insight website. Access to Insight. Good. So now let's enter to the beginning of the sutta. In this time, Buddha was living in Kuru country. There was a town called Kammasadhamma. There the blessed one, the Buddha, addressed the monks, and he said, Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhiya soka paridevanang samatikkamaya. This is the direct path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and distress, for the attainment of the right method, and for the realization of unbinding, Nibbana, which is nothing but the fourfold establishment of mindfulness. Chattaro Satipatthana, the four Satipatthanas. So, by listening to this intro, it pleases our mind, because this is what we need. This is our sole aim of the life. This is what we look for. This is what we are craving on. The purification, the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, the disappearance of pain and distress. How beauty. And the attainment of Nibbana, the cessation of suffering. How nice it is. So, in order to reach our goal, we only need 4 things, 4 practices, which are called Kaya Anupassana, contemplation on body. Vedana Anupassana, contemplation on feelings. Chitta Anupassana, contemplation of mind. So here I simply translate it as mind. There are different thoughts explained in this part. And finally, Dhamma Anupassana, the contemplation on phenomena. Under Dhamma, under the term Dhamma, different important topics in Buddhism were explained. So if we go into the key points of the sutta, firstly, we can recognize that there are 6 meditation. So please do not understand the term meditation as something that we need to close our eyes and sit on one position and be calm and quiet and focus on one object and do meditation. Because the term meditation is somewhat misleading. It is not a proper translation for the Buddhist term bhavana. Bhavana means simply you develop something, cultivation. Bhaveti. Bhaveti means you come to the position of higher and higher, day by day, time by time, that you meditate. So the position of the mind is not the same in the beginning as it was in the beginning when you end the meditation. The mind has come to a higher position after the meditation. This is the real bhavana. Next day when you meditate, you begin from not from the beginning that was in yesterday, but from the status of the mind that you ended with. Okay, which means there is a gradual path, there is a development. But sometimes we do meditate today and we do not do it for 1 week, and after 1 week sometimes we are beginning from the beginning again, from the very beginning. But this is not the real development taught by Buddha. And this is called kusala. Kusala means skillfulness. You need to develop a certain skill. So here in meditation, here in bhavana, Buddhist bhavana, you develop the skillfulness of seeing things as they are. Your visibility, your ability of seeing the things as they are become clearer and clearer. Okay, so there is a development. So the highest point of this development is called Nibbana, the realization of 4 noble truths. When you begin to see the things as they are in the first best way, it is called Sotapanna, the stream entener, and the final state is Nibbana. Therefore, now you can understand whether it is fair to translate bhavana as meditation or not. However, we have it happened for us to have using the term meditation for bhavana. There is no other popular term like meditation when we try to translate it. But you need to know the real meaning of it. Good. So there are 6 methods. All these 6 methods are connected anyhow with the body. Okay. So Anapanasati first one, the breathing technique, the breathing meditation. Here, if you go to the sutta, if you go to the discourse, you can find, or you will be able to recognize that not the whole technique is explained in Maha Satipattana Sutta. Not the whole Anapanasati Bhavana is explained. Only the part that is connected with the bodily functions, is explained in Maha Satipattana Sutta under Anapanasati. If you need to know the next parts, you need to refer to either Anapanasati Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya or to Girimananda Sutta. Okay, there it is explained. So it is very nice. It is very beautiful. Sorry. From Maha Satipattana, you can recognize up to which point it is talking about bodily functionings with regard of the breath. Okay, which means the breath on which we focus on the body, or the bodily feelings. I can put it like that. Okay, which means you feel physically. You feel physically up to this point where Anapanasati is explained in Maha Satipattana Sutta. Which means Anapanasati has all functioning of 4 Satipatthanas. So the complete Anapanasati meditation technique has the methods of developing all 4 Satipatthanas. In other words, even Anapanasati Bhavana is not Satipatthana Sutta. Anapanasati Bhavana itself leads you to complete or to practice all 4 Satipatthanas. Okay, Kaya Anupassana, contemplation on body, feelings, mind, and Dhammas. Okay, so you can once refer to the explanation of Anapanasati Bhavana in either in Anapanasati Sutta or in Girimananda Sutta. The problem is we means the common man, common person does not like to go to the direct suttas. This is a problem in, I think, especially in Sri Lankan society. But the Westerners are tending more towards the original discourse of the Buddha, not to the commentary, or not to a sub-commentary, or not to an explanation of a monk, or not to any book where this thing was written down, explained. They try to refer to the original teaching. Sri Lankan society, I don't know whether they find it difficult to understand the original teaching of the Buddha, or I don't know whether why they try to, or they tend more towards to read a book where it was written down, where it was explained by a modern person or whoever. But I personally recommend you to try to refer to the original sutta, where it is purely explained, where you meet the Buddha face to face. Now, if you need to meet the Buddha, you can ask from many people where the Buddha is. First, you ask from the monk in the temple, where is the Buddha? The monk has not seen him. Therefore, the monk says, my teacher monk has taught that Buddha is there. So you go to the teaching of the teacher monk, for example, a book, and you read there where the Buddha is. So the teacher monk has also not seen him. Therefore, he says the sub-commentator has seen him. Tika Charya, the Tika, the one who composed Tikas. So the Tika, when you refer to the Tika, he also has written down, I have not personally seen Buddha. So I think my teacher monk, the commentator, has seen Buddha. So the commentator, so you go to the commentary and you try to find Buddha there. Attakatha, Atuava. When you read the commentary, you can see that the commentator has said, I might have seen the Buddha, or I don't know whether I have seen the Buddha. So he indirectly says, my explanation could be correct, could be according to Buddha. It could also not be according to Buddha. It could even be my own opinion. Ayang panami attonomati. So there he is free. So you can't blame at him that he has said something wrongly. He has clearly said this is not my own, this is my own opinion in some points. So this is our problem. We know that in the sutta, in the discourse itself, we can meet Buddha. We can read the real teaching of the Buddha. When we have that chance, we do not get that chance and we go around. We ask from many hundreds of people, what is the truth? When we have the chance to learn the truth from the Buddha itself. So here in this case also you can refer to the original discourse, Anapanasati Sutta, and you can read it, and you can learn it, and you can practice it, and you can get the result. So without trying to do it, why we move to here and there, and why we blame at other people, that monk is not explaining well, that monk is explaining well, and so on. If you have the brain, if you have the capacity, if you can think, if you are able to think, why do you not use your brain? Good. So the first thing is Anapanasati. So in Anapanasati, so we go out from the sutta and we go to the Anapanasati Sutta, and there the first part is with regard of the bodily feelings. Okay, so from your nose you can feel something, your breath, and you focus on it. But as I have explained in the beginning, when we go further, when we go deeper, if we remain on this physical breath itself, and the what you call the roughness of it, what we physically feel, we can't see the things which are more fine, which are finer than this physical feeling. Therefore, It is not said directly in the meditation technique, but there it explains that you go now deeper and deeper, and you feel now not the roughness of this physical feeling. While you are attentive, while you are knowing this breath, uh, you now recognize how your feelings are. Okay, the feelings which are not physical, like joy, pleasure, and so on. Sukha patisangvedi asasissami iti sikkati. Experiencing happiness, you breathe in. By experiencing joy, you breathe in. So this sukha is what I feel is, it is a combination of physical pleasure and mental pleasure. It is more physical in the beginning, and also it has the touch of mental pleasure. And then from sukha, you come more deeper, and then you realize not just sukha, okay, not just piti, but also sukha. Okay, so let me clear out this. First comes piti patisangvedi, and then comes sukha patisangvedi, and then comes chitta sankhara patisangvedi. All these things are connected with feeling, vedananupassana, contemplation on feeling. So first the happiness comes to the mind, and then this happiness is spread even towards the body. Okay. Therefore, it is explained in the suttas, piti manassa kayopi passambati chittampi passambati. When you have happiness, even your body calms down, even your mind calms down. Passambati, calms down. So this pleasure, this enjoyment, this bliss, it is not so it is something which has the beginning of the body, but it goes deeper towards the mind. And these feelings, this vedana, these real feelings you experience when you go deeper in the meditation. Okay, and then you now go a step more into the deep. Then you see the thoughts. You get the ability of see the thoughts. We get the thoughts, but we do not see the thoughts. So now, in this moment, while we have not developed our minds, we get many hundreds of thoughts, millions of thoughts, but we do not see the beginning of a thought. We can't recognize when the thought comes in. We only recognize us when the thought has done all his duty. So everything has happened when we recognize that this was a bad thought. But when we are alert, when we do this meditation deeper and deeper, when it is coming, we can recognize it. So we can recognize whether it is an enemy or a friend, healthy or unhealthy. We can recognize it, but we do not try to get rid of enemies. This is the point. We do not try to avoid bad thoughts in that moment. No. What we do is we realize. Because if you do not realize the difference, if you do not realize that there are two different things in this world, good and bad, how you can eliminate bad. So in this moment, you do not try to suppress the bad thoughts. Let them come in, but you know how it is. So you recognize many different thoughts, good and bad thoughts. All these things are explained in also in Chittanupassana in Maha Satipattana. That is why I said that it is very important for you to read. And it is very important to have a good discussion on this sutta. Please don't do it today because then I am free. But it is very good to begin a discussion. Good. And the final part of this Anapanasati is Dhammanupassana. Then you recognize the real Dhammas, the real phenomena. So Aniccanupassi, Asasissamiti Sikkati Pasasissamiti Sikkati Viraganupassi, Asasissamiti Sikkati Pasasissamiti Sikkati Nirodhanupassi, Asasissamiti Sikkati Pasasissamiti Sikkati, which means Aniccanupassi, seeing the impermanence. You breathe in, you breathe out. The impermanence is the real nature of the world. There is nothing else in this world than impermanence. Anything which belongs to the world belongs to the impermanence, or due to the impermanence, or under the impermanence. Nothing happens beyond this reality. The impermanence of the whole universe, you begin to recognize with your breath. You recognize the impermanence of the breath. You recognize the impermanence of everything, of the entity, of the entity of everything in the world. So this is how the breathing meditation leads you to begin from just from the breath, but to finish from the understanding of the reality of anything in the world. So that is why we can get the results in this moment itself through the teaching of the Buddha, not in the next life, but not in any other life after the death, but in this very moment we can get the results. Good. So Anapanasati meditation is something that someone who has even no any amount of concentration, who begins it, can end up with the final realization of Nibbana. Okay, so through Anapanasati you can go up to Arhathood. With metta, with loving kindness, you can go up to Anagami. Good. Okay. So Anapanasati is some meditation that begins with samatha and ends with vipassana. Okay, so this technique is explained. First part is explained in Satipatthana, and the whole technique is explained in Anapanasati Sutta. Good. The other meditations that come in Maha Satipattana Sutta are the second one is Iriyapatha meditation, the being focused on being alert on the four main postures, which are walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. Walking, standing, sitting, lying down. So when we do these bodily movements, we need to be mindful. We need to live in the moment, live in the present, not in the past or in the future. Most of the time, the common man thinks of either the past or the future. He is not remaining in the present, which is the sole reason for all the problems, all the stress. If you learn to be in this moment, you have no problem at all. Think about this very moment now, just in this moment. Try to be in this moment. Do you have any problem? No. All the problems are solved. Because problems are nothing but mind creations. Problems are a signal that the mind says you need to find a solution. If you are satisfied that you do not need any solution for anything, then you have no problem. If you are satisfied that I am happy to accept the current situation. If you are ready to accept the current situation, then you have no problem. Until you are not ready to accept things, the problems are there. The problem is nothing but an angle of the mind, or a point of view that the mind sees. There are no problems in this world. The problems are created by the mind. If you learn how to live in this moment, then you do not have any problem. So think of this later when you have free time. Try to be mindful, try to be alert to your posture. When you are sitting, nothing else. When you are standing, you are standing. When you are walking, you are walking. When you are lying down, you are lying down. You do not think about how to get an answer from for that problem I had yesterday. What I need to do tomorrow. No, you do not need to think about these things. You just be, or you just enjoy your moment. If we do not enjoy this moment, which moment we are going to enjoy? Because we only live in this moment. We do not live in future. We do not live in tomorrow. We do not live in yesterday. We live in this moment. And if we are unhappy, if we are stressed, if we have many things in the mind in this moment, when we are going to be free from them? When we are going to enjoy the life? There is no time for that. Therefore, be attentive to what you do now, live in the present moment, and enjoy it very well. Be happy, be content with what you have now. Do not be unhappy with what you do not have, what you need. Needs are not the reality. Needs means you do not have it. Your mind is unhappy that you do not have it. I need it. I want it. Why do we want something? So if you can maintain the status that in the mind that you do not need, do not want anything, then there is no unsatisfactoriness for you. So there is a nice story in Mahayana. Once a certain person came to the Buddha and said, "I want happiness." So Buddha has said, first, cut down the word "I." Then cut down the word "want." Then you have happiness. Okay, good. This is about Iriyapatha. So you live in this moment in whatever you do. So firstly, in the main four postures, and then the third technique is Sampajana Bhavana. You are alert on your sub postures, like going forward, coming backward, looking at any direction, looking forward, looking backward. You move your limbs. You do many different physical activities like drinking, eating, walking, going to the toilet, playing, watching, and so on. In all fine movements, you are alert. You are living in this moment. Buddha has never said, do these physical activities and do not do these activities. No, he never said. So while you do your things, just be attentive, just be focused, just just realize it, what you are doing. That is all. It is called sampajana. In sub postures, you are mindful. While driving, if you lose the mindfulness, many things can happen. So be mindful. Be mindful of anything. When you do all the different kinds of activities, be mindful. While cooking, if you are mindful, you can cook very well. You do not put too much salt to the curry. You cook deliciously if you cook mindfully. If you eat mindfully, you can enjoy your meal very well. Even if you have very delicious food and you are not mindful and you keep a problem in your mind and you eat, you never enjoy it. You never have entertainment. So you can enjoy your meal very well if you eat mindfully. So the same story is about anything that we do. We talk with someone, the second person tries to annoy us, tries to make us unhappy, tries to cheat us, tries to change the happiness of us, using many different words. If you are mindful, you can talk with anyone, you can talk with any long period, but still you are maintaining the same status of the mind. You do not change your status of the mind. When we are alert, when we are mindful, we do everything in the best way. We get the best of our life. So therefore, we can lead a happy life. We can lead a full life if we are mindful and alert. Okay, good. The next meditation method, which is connected with the body, is particular manasikara, which is called the loathsomeness of the 32 impurities of the body. Hair, and nails, skin, blood, flesh, and so on. So the monks who meditate thoroughly, they like to do this meditation, particular manasikara, which is commonly called in Sri Lankan culture as Asubha Bhavana, or Kaya Gata Sati Bhavana, which is good for those who have so much sexual desire, to say, or the desire towards what you call karma sukha, the entertaining purposes, or having enjoyment through your eyes, ears, nose, and so on. For those people, it is suitable, this meditation. But for those who are easily getting angry, Asubha Bhavana is not that much suitable. Because through Asubha Bhavana, they can develop their aversion and depression also. Therefore, for such people, Metta Bhavana, the loving kindness, is the best suitable for those who get angry. Okay, good. The next meditation here explained is Dhatu Manasikara, which I find a very important technique. Dhatu Manasikara, the contemplation on 4 elements. Patavi Dhatu, Apo Dhatu, Tejo Dhatu, Vayo Dhatu, the earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. Where are these elements? On the mountains there is earth, on rivers there is water, on where fire is, there is fire, and in the atmosphere there is earth, there is air, is it? These things are here within this body. This body consists of the 4 elements. Okay, so this body, in other words, this body is made of these elements. Earth element. So when we see as an entity, we see this as this body, which means, in other words, we have the idea of self. This is my body. But when we divide it into 4 elements, then we can slowly understand that this is not my body, but it is something that belongs to the earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. So you need to divide with the mind, not physically. With the mind, you need to divide this into 4 parts. This is how you do Dhatu Manasikara. So Buddha has given a very good example in explaining this dhatu manasikara. He says, just as a skilled butcher or his apprentice, having killed a cow, would sit at a crossroads, cutting it up into pieces, the monk contemplates this very body, however it stands, however it is disposed. In terms of properties, in this body, there is earth property, the liquid property, the fire property, and the wind property. So this is how it has to be done. If we do it, we reduce the unavoidable I thought, which is always disturbing us, because if there is no I, there is no possessor for problems. If there is no I, to me does not belong any problem. For example, we are unhappy about something. Just when we focus, or just when we are mindful, and just when we contemplate on these four elements, and when we realize that this is not my body, but it belongs to the nature, to the air, to the earth, to the fire, and to the water, then we find nobody to whom the problems belong to. So unhappiness goes away. Unhappiness goes away just in a moment. So therefore it helps us to develop the wisdom, because that wisdom is covered through the illusion. So it is covered. So we need to discover it. We need to tear out all the things that blend our vision. We need to try to go towards the direction where the wisdom is. So it is covered with many different things, especially this the thought of selfness. This is disturbing us very much. So we need to try to overcome. We need to come out of it. The next one, the sixth meditation technique, is Navasivatika, the 9 states of a corpse, which means what happens after the death, what happens to this corpse after the death. It is explained in Navasivatika. So these 6 meditation techniques are given in the first part, Kayanupassana, contemplation on the body. So I need to find out whether the time is over or not. We have, I think so, no? Do we have more time? Or I think it is time for finishing.
We normally stop at 6:30, 6, Bhante. That's all right. But Bhante, you have been speaking from 4:30. You must be very tired. But it has been very interesting and very useful. And but I think it might be a little too long for some. I don't know.
Yes. So we can just finish. Yes.
Yeah, we can finish. Yes.
So you can further read the sutta, and you can know the next parts of the contemplation on feelings, thoughts, and dhammas. Please read this. It is very important sutta, and if you have any questions, you can get the answers from a learned monk who has read the sutta and who has practiced this method, and it itself leads towards Nibbana, because at the end of the sutta, Buddha says, if any person uh, uh, practices this method, this Satipatthana, he can attain Nibbana, or he can attain Anagamihood within 7 days. Within 7 days. If he can't do it within 7 days, he can do it within 1 month. If not within 1 month, within 3 months. If not within 1 year. And maximum duration he has given is 7 years. So if someone practices Satipatthana for 7 years, he can attain Arhathood. It is that significant. It is that useful sutta and meditation method that we need to practice. So we have the Dhamma here in front of our eyes, and why do not we use it? This is the question. So I invite you to go through this sutta and learn the techniques and practice it for your life and get the great results of it. So may you attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much for listening.